Morning. It's what was it, Tuesday, October 20th, 2020. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm on my way to the gym to go work out. And I heard something today, and the importance of learning, the importance of reading, the importance of being around the right people, the importance of mentors, the importance of self-development or development of the mind versus social media versus watching TV versus playing a board game, meaning taking something into your growth. The important part of that has everything to do with gathering information. Not information to be powerful so that you can rule somebody or so that you can manipulate somebody. I remember somebody telling me they were going to get into suggestive language so that they could talk to people in a way that would manipulate them to do what they wanted them to do. See, I'm not talking about being involved or engaged in a process with a mentor, or in process and engaged in a book or a lesson or something that allows you to control or alter other people. But I'm talking about being involved because you want to change and you want to be the best you can be. And so I've already come to the conclusion that I may go to a conference that may last for 3 hours, but only 15 seconds of what was said is what I showed up for. But you had to stay through the whole conference because you didn't know where that nugget, that blessing, you didn't know where in this setting it was gonna drop. So you had to stay there the whole time. And I find myself, when I'm at odds with someone, or when something happens and there's just a hate there or a dislike for one another, but there's no real cause. There's no real, you slept with my wife, I stole money from. There's never a real cause there. In most instances, there's not a real cause for this animosity or this feeling of I don't like you, you don't like me, we don't like each other. And you spend so much time caught up trying to analyze the situation and figure out, and then you just come to the conclusion it's their fault. So that gives you ammo to keep up this war that was really based on nothing. And it never occurred to me, never ever occurred to me. It was always a reality that if somebody doesn't like you or you don't like someone, something had to have been done. They're like, if there's no problem, how could you not like me? I mean, if I have done nothing to you, how could you not like me? If I've done nothing to you and you've done nothing to me, how could we not like each other? Family, friends, co-workers, church members. Because the reality is, Not everybody likes you. And here's the toughest part. There's nothing to figure out. There's not a mystery. There's not a magical pie out there that you're going to make and deliver to this other individual that's going to make them say, oh my God, look at what I've been missing out on all this time. You are absolutely wonderful. Come here, friend. Some people just are not going to like you. And it's nothing you did. It's nothing they did. It is what it is. I did my competition Sunday. Today's Tuesday. I did it Sunday morning at 7:20. I was in the water starting what would end up being a 6-hour and 39-minute endurance competition. And what bothered me the most about this competition, not that I didn't do good, I did good. I felt like I could do better. Now, I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing that day. That day I was, a zombie. I couldn't even think straight. What bothered me most and it was probably my biggest breakthrough or my revelation was I was intentionally paying attention to what and where everybody on the course was in comparison to my finish time. And I'll be very honest, I was being competitive. Not in a vindictive way, like, oh, I'm gonna beat you, but in a way like, I've trained for this, I'm up for this. This is, I got this. And I got down to 95% of the task done. 3 miles left, home free. 3 miles, that's, if I average 10 minutes a mile, that's 30 minutes. For me, that's easy. And my body, I've never had my body break like this. With no real warning sign, nothing. It just, I literally had carpal tunnel. I mean, my hands turned in, my ankles turned in, my knees turned in. I had cramps coming up into my groin on both sides. It was a debilitating situation, and I watched the people that I knew I was ahead pass me, and I couldn't do anything about it. And I was having a pity party yesterday. I was trying to figure it out, like, how, I was looking it up, like, how do you get rid of cramps? I'm trying to figure out how to resolve this issue for next time. And my wife is sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I can't help but think I'm watching them run by me, and I can't. Not that I don't want to, not that I can't, I'm not willing myself to. I can't. My legs had physically turned in. My ankles, my knees were turned in. Everything had cramped up. My back had cramped up. My thumbs were cramped up. I had carpal tunnel at that moment in 95% of my body. And I watched them pass me, and I could do nothing. And I'm sitting there and I'm running this, I'm replaying this, and I'm thinking about my time would have been better, this would have been better, outcome would have been better, da da da. But then I started thinking about the reason. The reason I wanted to win. The reason I wanted to get across that finish line first. Or maybe second. Maybe third, not fifth. There's not a fifth place on the podium. And then I started thinking, how did you get through all that? I mean, swimming, biking. The run part was the easiest. How did you get through 95, 96? I'd even say 96% of this endurance competition, this endurance challenge, just to have your body completely shut down. The mind was strong. The mind hadn't started getting delirious. The mind was strong. And yeah, it might have been lacking knowledge about what to do in those circumstances. But the reason I wanted to get over that line, the reason why it happened at 90% of completion, it was bothering me, and yeah, I was like already mentally planning the next one. It was bothering me. And it was real simple. My wife was sitting there. I was sitting there yesterday. And I looked at her. I said, humbleness and humility. I say a lot of things to my wife, and I never had her expression brighten up so much. It was the expression like, I get that. It was an expression like that was a real breakthrough. Because we know me. I'm a humble guy. There's a lot of things I do I keep to myself. There's a lot of things that I should say, keep it to myself. There's a lot of actions that I take. I don't need the award. But even my thinking through that process, as I was running, was not about my competition. It was about making somebody else feel the same way I felt when I seen them people passing me. David Goggins calls it snatching souls. When somebody is at their weakest point and you blow by them, it does something to you. I literally hobbled over the finish line for fear that I was going to get past some more. In pain, I gutted it out. I said, this is going to have to kill me. My body might be stuck like this forever, but I ain't letting nobody else pass me up. So a couple things to remember. Not everybody's going to like you. And it ain't even got to be a reason. It ain't got to be a, they hating on me for what I got, what I did. It ain't even got to be a reason. Some people just not going to like you. That's okay. Because the people and the things that God has intended for you, they'll be with you forever. It'll be with you forever. And the things that ain't, they're temporary. And the second thing, sometimes the victory is denied because God is still trying to work on you. And that was the one that really just, my heart just sunk. My heart just sunk because I knew God wasn't trying to do nothing to hurt me. Because my wife, what triggered it, she said, so you saying that God stopped you before you got there? I said, no. I said, God didn't let me finish the way I wanted to because he needed to show me something. Which is just simply saying that he's just trying to help me grow. So he can trust me with what he really has for me. And he can really grow the vision that he gave to me. The vision that he gave to me within hours of my grandmother passing. But he can't give me that vision if I haven't learned to humble myself. And if I ain't learned how to accept humility. And so my prayer this morning was, God, work on me in the areas where I am weakest. Because it would have been too easy. I could have explained away. Oh yeah, I didn't make it out the water. Because if you don't make it out of a competition, there's 3 competitions: swim, bike, run. If you don't make it out of it, you don't finish. You don't get the award. You don't get the recognition. So it'd been easy. I mean, I had some stuff break on my bike. I'm literally riding 16 miles an hour, 17 miles an hour with stuff snapping off my bike, and I'm pulling it off as I'm riding, just snapping it off. It'd have been easy for me to say I couldn't finish my bike, messed up. I ain't the best rider. It'd have been easy for me to be in the water and to get a cramp or just not be able to make it out the water. It'd be easy if that's where the journey stopped, and then I can explain that away. I said, well, I'm not a good swimmer. I only had 3 training sessions before I had to get in there and open water. It'd have been easy to explain those away. I could have made all the excuses in the world, and they probably would have been. I probably would have bought them myself, and everybody around me bought them. But it'd been okay. It'd been okay. It'd been fine. But in the area where I felt most confident, with 96% of the competition behind me, I met failure. And every way I tried to reason it out, there was no excuses. It just came back to humbleness and humility. Life lessons. They're simply intended to make you the best you that you can be, so that you can be the best you for the people around you.